Good morning, everyone. In continuation to the previous class, this class we'll be discussing about the characters, taxonomic characters of the insects belongs to the order Dictyoptera. Yesterday we were discussing about the important characters of the insects belongs to order Arthroptera, and also we have seen some of the videos as far as the desert locusts are concerned. In this class, we are going to discuss about the most commonly seen insects, such as cockroaches and praying mantids, which belongs to Dictyoptera. If you look into the meaning of Dictyo means it is netted. I have two insects to show you. So this is what is praying mantis, and in Telugu we call it as a Gollapama. And if you look into the wing structure very clearly, you'll find some kind of netted wings. So these praying mantis and also cockroaches, and I have another praying mantis to show you. And the praying mantis and also the cockroaches. Cockroaches I don't need to show you because you must be seeing the cockroaches on a regular basis. And these cockroaches, Periplaneta americana, is very, very common in our kitchen. So these are the two important insects. These are the two important and most common insects which are falling under order Dictyoptera. And we will try to understand the most important characters of the order Dictyoptera. And here, in this class, as I told you that we are going to discuss about the most important characters, taxonomic characters of the insects falling under order Dictyoptera. Dictyo means netted wings. And the most commonly observed insects are cockroaches and also the praying mantis. And you can see the antennal structure of the cockroaches, antennal structure of the praying mantis, and the leg modifications of the cockroaches, and also leg modifications as far as the praying mantis. And most important, the forelegs of the praying mantis. They are mostly terrestrial. They live on the earth. And they are tropical and subtropical. And the cockroaches are omnivorous. They can eat anything. The habit of the cockroaches, omnivorous, they can eat anything. But as far as the praying mantis is concerned, they are predaceous. And it's unbelievable that the praying mantis can even catch a big snake. They have wonderful raptorial legs, the forelegs. So with this highly modified, spiny, raptorial front legs, they can catch hold of anything. They can eat insects, they can eat small animals, they can eat even the rats, they can eat even the snakes. Such a wonderful, there's a highly developed mouth parts as well at present. And the size is medium to large size. And the shape you can see very clearly here. They have very, very long bodied as far as the praying mantis is concerned. They look like a stick as well. We call them as a stick insects. Some are green in color, some are brown in color, some are black in color. And most importantly, they actually mimic the local environment. The color is actually matching with the local environment. That's the reason they can actually escape from the enemies. And the shape of the cockroaches is dorsoventrally flattened, oval shape. and the head is hypognathous in both the cases. The antenna is very, very long in cockroaches, and it is like a whip, cetaceous. And in case of praying mantis, it is a filiform. The prothorax, you can see very clearly. It is a shield, a plate like in cockroaches. It is the prothorax. It is a very looking like a triangular shield-like structure. And the wings are held straight to the body, similar to the Orthoptera, and they have a tegmina type, large, narrow forewings, and membranous hind wings with many, many wings. And in case of legs, the legs of the cockroaches are used for running purpose. You can see the cockroaches are always running. They don't walk in a common sense. They usually run for long. They run very fast. And the four legs of the praying mantis are always raptorial, used for catching the prey. And the tarsi is always 5-segmented. And they have an anal cerci. And especially you can see the anal cerci in the cockroach. Very, very special. The last here, you can see in the last abdominal segment, you can see the anal cerci on the cockroach. And that's very, very special for the cockroaches because the anal cerci has umpteen number of sensilla, sensory organs, which can even detect the small movements in the wings. That is the reason it is very, very difficult to catch them. The moment you go nearer to the cockroaches, the anal cerci will detect the air movements and immediately they run. And genitalia is always concealed, and in both the cases, the eggs are laid in ootheca. So with this, you can understand the most important characters, taking into consideration of the cockroach and also the praying mantis. You can as well describe the taxonomic characters of order Dictyoptera. There are two families, one is Mantidae, one is Blattidae. Mantidae is the family in which the praying mantis and stick insects are placed. And the head is always triangular, you can see, it just look like a snake head. The head is always triangular, deflected down, always triangular, deflected down. And the most important habit is predaceous. They predate, they eat many number of animals, smaller insects as well. They always exhibit the cryptic coloration, which is actually matching with the local environment. It's called mimicry. It mimics the local environment so that these insects can escape easily from the enemies. And the head is always triangular and deflected. Antennae is filiform and long. Antennae is filiform and long. And the prothorax is greatly elongated. You can see that here, the prothorax is greatly elongated, very large. As far as the legs, the front legs are raptorial legs, are prey catching legs, are catching legs. And especially the most important modification as far as the legs of the praying mantis is the raptorial legs, and that's all because they have a very, very elongated coxa. You can see here, there's the one very, very peculiar. They have a very, very elongated coxa. And tibia and tarsus will have a very, very tough spines so that it can catch the prey. And it can easily catch hold. The abdomen is flattened and very, very long. and they always lay the eggs in Utica, egg cases. And you can see this kind of Utica are found in many of the trees. Whenever you just visit any trees, you will be finding this kind of, it looks like a plastic structure. And this kind of egg case, or Utica, is found in most of the plants. And this is the Utica of the praying mantis. So there are umpteen number of eggs inside the Utica, and once the eggs are incubated and ready for the hatch, the newly emerged, the praying mantis looks like ants. So sometimes you may get confused, they are the ants. Actually, they are the baby praying mantis. So these are the important taxonomic characters as far as praying mantis, which belongs to the family Mantidae and order Dictyoptera. The most important taxonomic character is head is triangular and deflected, and they have a long filiform antenna, and the prothorax is greatly elongated, and the most important is raptorial front legs, in which the coxa is elongated, and they lay eggs in Utica. Now let us go into the second family, Blattidae. And before that, we will try to see about the important characters of the praying mantis looking into this video. So here you can see the head is always triangular. Yes, they have a very long filiform antenna and big compound eyes. And they are in different colors, green, brown, depends upon the local environment. That's called mimicry. They actually mimic the local environment. You can see here, the coxa is highly elongated. And now they're actually trying to find out the food. And we'll see how nicely they catch the insects, the other smaller animals as well. And also you see here, tibia and tarsus have a very, very big spines. The tibia and tarsus have a very, very big spines, because of which they can actually catch hold of the prey. And also you can see the body, abdomen is long, and they're actually highly predaceous. Now you see how nicely it is catching the honeybee and eating it. They have a very, very well developed mandibles. It's actually non-vegetarian. The praying mantis is actually non-vegetarian. It catches hold of all these small insects and other small animals, and because of very well developed mandibulate mouth parts, they keep on eating on them. And they move comparatively slower, whereas the cockroaches runs very fast. The praying mantis moves very slow because they have very, very long legs. And they will be looking for the prey, and whenever they see the prey, immediately, very nicely, very cleverly, they catch hold of the prey. And these praying mantis will be laying the eggs in the Utica. It's some kind of foamy kind of structure, so which is attached to a plant material, branches or leaves. It may contain something like 200 to 300 eggs. So the newly emerged nymphs from the Utica of praying mantis look like a very small ants. You may get confused sometimes, it's an ant. You can see here how nice the head is triangular and the antenna is very, very clear. They have a big compound eyes and protruded. They move very slowly. The front raptorial legs are extremely developed. Now you see, it is catching hold of the cricket. Yes. It actually catches the cricket. You can see here the spine-like structure in the tibia and tarsus. And it can even catch hold of bigger insects like grasshoppers. This is the cricket actually. It is eating on the cricket. You can see here the ovipositor of the cricket. Yesterday we were discussing. And just imagine, you see how nicely it is eating. And finally, except the exoskeleton, it eats everything. Yes, it cleans up the, yes, mandibles and mouth parts with his legs. And yes, very, very big spines on the tibia and tarsus, which is helping them. Here you can see the big spines. Even sometimes if you go too close to them, some of the big praying mantis can catch hold of your finger as well. Not so dangerous for us, but so whenever you disturb them, it can catch hold of you. And they have big spines. They have big spines here. And see, it's eating on honeybees. And you can see the mandibles, maxillae now. And that's the beauty of praying mantis, which has got a triangular head which is deflected down and highly developed mandibles. They have a long filiform antenna, and the prothorax is actually elongated, and the abdomen is very, very long. Sometimes it is stout in some of the insects. They actually mimic the local environment by changing the colors. That's the reason they have different colors. And the most important character is as far as the legs, the raptorial legs. Cocci is very, very elongated, whereas tibia and tarsus will have a huge, big number of highly sclerotized, tough spines, with which can actually catch hold of the prey. And they have a very, very wonderful, well-developed chewing and biting type of mouth parts, and because of which it can eat anything. Now we'll move to the second family, Blattidae, and the cockroaches belongs to the Blattidae. Cockroaches are nocturnal. They usually come out from their habitat during the night time. Very rarely you'll find in the daytime, but actually they are the night lovers. And they eat anything for that matter. They are omnivores. They can eat anything. And look into the body of the cockroach. They are highly pigmented and dorso-ventrally flattened, and head actually not mobile in all directions like the praying mantis, because it is hidden by the enlarged pronotum, and the head is hidden inside the pronotum. That's the reason head will not move in all the directions, unlike the praying mantis. So ocelli is fenestrae, and antenna is very big, and it's a whip-like cetaceous, we call them. Very big antenna, and the whip-like antenna. The prothorax is shield-like or plate-like. Legs are cursorial or running purpose. All the three pairs of legs are used for the running purpose. And the eggs are laid in ootheca, and the most important character is anal cerci. Anal cerci is very, very developed, and the anal cerci will have a many number of cincilla, which can even sense the small air movement, because of which you can't catch hold of the cockroaches. It's very difficult to catch hold of the cockroaches because they have a wonderful cincilla on the anal cerci. And you can see this ootheca, the praying mantis ootheca you can find on the trees, whereas the cockroaches ootheca you will always find in the dark places. And from this ootheca, the small nymphs, the cockroaches, will emerge out, many numbers. So this ootheca may be having around 50 to 150 eggs inside. So these are the two important families under the order Dictyoptera. Now we will try to discuss another important order, Odonata. Dragonflies and damselflies. Dragonflies and damselflies are under order Odonata. They are the most beautiful insects, and they roam the entire earth They travel from the longer distances. They are one of the most beautiful and the most ancient. Probably these dragonflies are there on the earth almost like 400 to 500 million years ago. They are the largest flying invertebrates, and they're one of the most ancient. They must be there since 500 or 600 million years. The important characters, taxonomic character, the size is medium and attractively colored, especially the body. You can see, you can find almost like within the campus of our agriculture college, Bapatla, you can find as many as 30 types of dragonflies, which are in different colors. And the head is globular. The head is globular, look like a ball actually. And the head is rotated in all the directions. During your childhood days, probably you must have catched hold of some of the dragonflies during the rainy season, onset of the rainy seasons. The head actually moves in all the directions because the head is attached to the thoracic region with a small petiole kind of neck. And the compound eyes are very big. The mandibles strongly toothed in the adults, and they have a mandibulate mouth parts, chewing and biting type of mouth parts. As far as the nymphs are concerned, they have a prehensile, very, very highly reduced. Wings, yes, they have wonderful wings, and both forewings and hind wings are equal in the size. Both forewings and hind wings are equal in size. You can see here, it is all membranous. Very clearly, you can see the wing venation. Very clearly, you can see the wing venation. And most importantly, the wing flexing mechanism is absent. The wing folding mechanism over the body is absent. And the wings have a pterostigma here. That's a very typical taxonomic characters of the insects coming under order Odonata, the pterostigma. And the legs, you can see the legs here. So legs are used for making the basket kind of thing, or holding or grasping, or some kind of basket forming legs because of arrangement in the tergal and sternal plates of the thoracic region. And in the childhood days, probably you must have catch these dragonflies, and usually what we do, will keep in a small stone near the legs, and they will pick the legs of the dragonflies, will catch and keep a small piece of rock or stone. So they have a basket forming kind of legs. And these legs are used for the holding or grasping or conveying the food into the mouth. And the abdomen is very, very long. The abdomen is very, very long and very, very slender. And especially in case of damselflies, it is very, very long. And very, very slender, very, very slender. And very fragile kind of thing. And the head is a globular or ball kind of structure which can move in all the directions because it is constricted and attached with the thoracic region with a petiole kind of structure. That's one is very important. And they have a very, very large compound eyes. And the antenna, of course, is very, very small. The antenna is very, very small and highly reduced. They have a wonderful antenna, but it's very, very small, the size. And forewings and hind wings are same to same. There's no difference in the size. And you can very clearly see the wing venation. And also you can see very clearly a spot on the both and forewings and hind wings. This spot is called pterostigma. This pterostigma is present in all the insects coming under order Odonata. And the legs, they are used for basket forming legs. We call them as a prehensile legs, basket forming legs. And these basket forming legs are used for grasping or holding food material and finally conveying, crossing the food material to the mouth. Abdomen is very, very slender. Actually, if you catch hold of a dragonfly, you feel like it may break. very, very fragile, kind of slender and long. And especially in case of damselflies, it's very, very long. Very, very long in case of damselflies. So that's it for the class, and we try to discuss about the important taxonomic characters of the insects coming under two orders. Order one is Dictyoptera and the second one is Odonata. As far as the Dictyoptera is concerned, you always should remember the cockroaches and the praying mantis. The cockroaches and praying mantis coming under Dictyoptera, whereas the dragonflies and damselflies are coming under Odonata. So with this, we will end this session, and we will close it, and we'll meet again. Thank you and take care. Bye-bye.